Pronounced, defined, used in lexical dispatch.
Guile, noun, guileful, guilefully, guilefulness, deceitful cunning, craft, craftiness, slyness, deceitfulness, trick, abdicate, verb, abdicator, abdication, to give up the position of being king or queen, cast off, renounce, repudiate, discard. To Nero, villainy was about guile and trickery and style. He picks apart a defense's frailties with precision and guile. She was free from guile and deceit of any kind. When it came to guile, craftiness, he considered himself a man without peer. As an undercover operative, I found him wanting. He lacks the guile to play multiple sides. He puts them on the power play and relies on their guile, but it's harder and harder for them to physically crank it up. Babies are moved not by greed and guile, but by the primal need to live to the next day, a pretty good reason to behave selfishly. The sheer pettiness of such conduct served to repel corrective action, because who wants to be drawn into little games of guile and manipulation? He understood tactics and strategy. He practiced guile and deception. He set up spectacular, elegant ambushes. The reality of writing is much more complicated since, good or bad, it can come from the heart or from the most guileful imitations of age-old conventions. Civilization is a thin and precarious crust erected by the personality and the will of a very few, and only maintained by rules and conventions skillfully put across and guilefully preserved. I could reach a wiser decision if I made my judgment on the basis of facts alone, the form of her appeal, her handwriting, the whole tone of the letter, rather than being attracted or repelled by the guilefulness of the woman herself, believing that the written word is more revealing than a face. Either her own people will demand that she abdicate, or we will remove Elizabeth by force. His language was regrettable and crass, but that does not allow us to abdicate our responsibility to be gracious and kind. The Allied powers occupied Iran during World War II, forcing Reza Shah to abdicate in favor of his son. By locating the source of their torment outside of themselves in the supernatural world, they abdicate their responsibilities for their actions in the moral world. We abdicate responsibility to supervise the private sector advances in the field. The intellectual application implicit in this creed is colossal. It is not, I think, excused by the abdicator's indifference to intellect, nor are its effects invisible. He is telling lies to the world to cover up his abdication of duty to the people of Puerto Rico. Selective enforcement of the law is abdication of the rule of law.